We bet our second breakfast you can't guess where we are.
Hey there, MamFam. We're in the Shire. Kind of. We are an ancient lore village in Knoxville, Tennessee.
This is a boutique hotel themed to its own story, so it's not really Lord of the Rings. It's very whimsical and it has its own lore that we'll get into a little bit later. An overnight package, which not only includes staying in one of these adorable abodes, but also meals and experiences like axe throwing and archery. So I'm really excited. We're big Lord of the Rings fans. What are you excited about doing today?
Well, if it's not elevensies, then it's definitely going to be archery.
Ooh, I'm also excited for archery, and I think I need to have a pint in this abode that looks like a tree. I think elves live there.
Yeah, so technically those are going to be wood elves up top and ground elves on the bottom. About the book.
Now, if you're staying overnight at the Ancient Lore Village, check-in isn't till 4, but we got here a little bit early so that we could explore and check out the surroundings and learn a little bit more about the village. Alan, could you please, as the resident expert between the two of us of the Ancient Lore Village, could you please tell us the tale of this place?
I'm still learning as I've not finished Boki's trek, but this ancient lore village was built by Boki, who, after traveling through the mist from his home land with his willow friends...
is he a willow?
He is a willow.
That's a species.
That is a race of people, yes. A very tall, sort of long-armed group of individuals. And he met with a whole bunch of other folks, like leprechauns, fairies, wood and ground elves, yetis, and orcs, and has created a wonderful place for people of all varieties to come and settle together. And the hope is that when you visit Ancient Lore Village, you will come, rest, recharge, unplug, and leave happier than when you came, which is really sweet.
That is nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, when we got here early, there was actually a fairy doing a little tour, so she walked us through all of the different little villages. We actually got to go inside the leprechaun's dwelling, which was beautiful and had lots of gold and green touches, as you might expect from a leprechaun. But each of the little dwellings along the way, there's not very many of them, is themed to a different creature. So there's like a fairy den, there's an orc den, and where we're staying, the Waterfall dwelling, which I'm very excited about.
The Waterfall dwelling is the one dwelling that is built for humans, the world of man.
Now, to be clear, I am a human, but I could stay in the fairy den.
If you wanted to, yeah.
Okay, but we will be in the Waterfall dwelling.
Yeah, that's just the one that's built specifically to humans.
So let's talk pricing. Most of the rooms here can sleep 2. They're designed to be small and a little bit more intimate. There's also the Waterfall Villa, which can sleep 4, which, spoiler alert, we're in, and Boki's Bungalow, which can sleep 8. Based on their website, the 2-person dwellings are $299 per night. The 4-person dwelling is $599 per night, and Boki's Bungalow, the 8-person dwelling, starts at $799 per night. Now, we wanted to book one of the 2-person dwellings, but unfortunately none of those were available, so we booked the Waterfall Villa, which can sleep 4. We also added the ultimate overnight getaway package to it, which includes the activities like the archery and the axe throwing, a farm-to-table dinner tonight, and a continental breakfast tomorrow. All in for the overnight package, the dwelling, all the taxes, fees, etc. It came out to $850 for one night for the 2 of us.
All right, we are all checked in and are now headed to explore our dwelling, and it just looks so serene and peaceful here.
My Hobbiton dreams are coming true.
This is like something out of my brain when I'm writing for a campaign for Dungeons & Dragons for my friends.
It's just, I feel like I need to go to the Green Dragon.
Oh! Whoa.
Okay, well, first of all, from the outside, this dwelling is beautiful with the waterfall cascading down between the 2 doors.
It's just, on the inside, I just can't get over how beautifully blended it is. Like, you've got some wood elements, lights, grays. This is, what a very cool aesthetic. Like, it's very clearly an indoor dwelling, but it's got a bunch of like woodsy type elements from the outside too.
It also definitely feels fantastical, but not cheesy. And it feels elegant as well. There's some luxury to it, which fits with it being a boutique hotel. So let's do a little dwelling tour, shall we? But first of all, here's the dining table. So there's a little breakfast nook right there. And then moving in here, you've got these 2 rocking chairs with a fireplace. A magic fire. Definitely can foresee myself sitting in front of this fire later Now next up over here, we have the main bed. What do you rate it?
9.
A 9?
Yeah.
That's a cozy bed. I love this. Like wood looking with a little metallic as far as the walls go. And then again, you've got a king size bed. Another little detail I'm loving is that over the outlets in many places, they have little fairy doors. So it's like the little fairy's in there and the fairy's gonna make your phone work. What is wrong with me? Closet. Here you've got your kitchen area and you've got this beautiful countertop that's got resin in it to make it look like the waterfall has continued from flowing outside into your dwelling. Also, one of the add-ons I added is the book, the hard copy of the book, so we can learn all about Boki, but Alan's already cracked into it. In here you've also got a mini fridge, as well as some items. These are cost to purchase like any normal hotel, but you've got all kinds of like plates and napkins and dining ware, whatever you might need while you're here. There's also a small microwave. Amazing what the hobbits have figured it out. Next, we move into our first bathroom. Hello.
Hi.
What's going on in there?
So big. The shower head. The echo.
Whoa. That's an awesome shower.
That's cool.
Also, look how you flush. It's like an up one. The tank's up there. Thank you for demonstrating.
Yep.
But beyond that, in the bathroom, you've got a big sink, beautiful mirror with the birds, some amenities here. Now moving into the second portion of the dwelling, remember this is a big one. You've got another microwave, another little mini fridge, coffee maker, including coffee, and they even have their own blend, Boki's Blend. There's a second bathroom in here as well. A little bit different aesthetic, but equally beautiful. Has another big rain shower. I love the light fixtures in here with the little tree branches and the birds. Lovely. And then in here, you've got another beautiful fireplace, an Allen in a swing. Most dwellings do not come with an Allen in a swing. This is also a pull-out, so you can sleep more in here. But this is the biggest one besides the big one that can sleep up to 10. And this one is often used and booked up, they said, by weddings, because this is the bridal get-ready suite. So this is where you'll have like your wedding party get ready, and they even have a hook right here. They said to hang your wedding dress on, and then you can look at yourself all ready to walk down the aisle in the big mirror right here. The size of this one is what makes it so expensive, but we did go into the leprechaun one earlier, and it's just as cute and just as adorable, but at a much lower cost point. One thing I want to point out is you may have noticed there's not a TV, which is kind of the point. The whole point is to unplug a little bit and relax and enjoy nature and the surroundings and et cetera, But this is very beautiful in here. Do you want to go explore the village?
Yeah.
You seem like you're cozy in your chair.
Oh, I am, but I do want to explore.
Now that we're all settled into our dwelling, we're going to do a little tour of the rest of the dwellings in the main area here before our first activity. Up on the top of this little hill is the Gremlin Garden. This has got lawn games like cornhole or Jenga, Connect 4, that we were told by the fairy, literal fairy, anyone, big or small gremlins can play. Now, Alan, what's this structure here?
That's Bloden's cave.
Who's Bloden?
Bloden is a Yeti,
Oh.
but this cave is unfinished. We learned that earlier. I'm given to understand that Bloden is currently out in the Smokies, but he can't come back because he's been spotted and people think he's Bigfoot. He'll be back to finish it soon, we hope.
But in the meantime, we were told the Yeti Cave is a lovely place to come to cool off with the nice shade here that Bloden left us, as well as in the evening, I believe they're going to have a fire here going if you'd like to sit and enjoy the fire. Also right here is one of your main gathering areas where they do have a bar for some libations, as well as the main fire pit and seating for dining, which seems like it'll be lovely later today.
This is the leprechaun lair, and it is built by Dungarvan, who is a leprechaun that Boki met through the mists. We saw and explored this one earlier. Very pretty. Lots of gold, some four-leaf clovers, and a really, really cool fireplace.
Also, I read that the leprechaun, his special skill is that he can find a four-leaf clover in 18 seconds flat, no matter the weather or wherever he lives. It's an amazing skill.
This is the fairy cottage. Halea sort of advised this creation. It's supposedly filled with lots of pinks and glitter. This is the Orc House. Icor oversaw this. This is Icor.
He looks nice.
He does look nice. People often say that orcs are kind of rude and mean, but they just feel really big feelings. They're very passionate. And whatever they feel it a lot. So, inside here, a lot of furs, antlers. This sort of, I imagine Gaston would like this, but Gaston's sort of like not great. I don't think Gaston would be an orc. They feel like very passionate people.
I don't want to disagree with Boki, but I've seen orcs, and I don't want to meet one.
This is the Gremlin Den, advised by Doran. And where there's one, there's two. They always travel in at least pairs, so... yeah, 2 doors.
Is it 2 rooms? It's 2 dens?
Yeah, 2 different rooms.
Wait, when you say gremlin dens, is it like ours where it's like one big cabin, or these are 2 different ones?
2 different cabins. And this here is the ground elf burrow, at least on this level. And then up top here is the wood elf burrow, because wood elf burrows like to touch the sky. They're very tall and lanky, almost like you'd imagine an elf to be, with those sort of long hair and pointed ears. And then the ground elves...
Legolas, what do your elven eyes see? Like that?
I see a bar right there, because there is one at the wood elf burrow. Or the wood elf den, I should say. Now, the ground elf burrow are elves that like to be close to the ground, and they're shorter folk. Now, for the lodge, the ground elf burrow has board games, the only TV on property, another restroom, a place that's another gathering place. It's currently closed off right now, but it will be open and accessible later. And then up top, of course, where the wood elf den is where you have a bar as well. And then lastly, they have Boki's Bungalow. It is the only abode with 2 stories. Fun fact here, that little archway over top of the door actually mirrors a bridge on the interior that takes you from one side to the next on that top floor.
It really is beautiful walking around here. It's very small, it's very quaint, but it's stunning. The flowers are gorgeous. It's carved into the hills. Now, one thing I want to point out, if you didn't want to purchase the book, or if you didn't go on the tour with the fairy earlier, there is an audio tour that can tell you the whole tale of Boki and all the different characters and things. And I feel like when you're coming to somewhere like this, yes, you'll enjoy it just looking at it, but I know for me and for Alan, who loves storytelling, I like learning all of this kind of mystical, magical backstory. But look how beautiful this is. Now we're popping back into the main lobby because our activities are coming up soon, and they told us to be back here. Oh my gosh. Y'all, you're wild if you think I'm not buying merchandise of the Yeti carrying the gremlins. Oh, and here's all of them.
Yeah, I'm buying that. And before our activities and dinner, so we went and picked up Boki's Bourbon Blitzes, which are the ancient lore village take on an old fashioned. So this is whiskey with some orange blossom honey and bitters. Cheers.
Boki, you know, a welcoming friend to all with a stiff drink. It's really good. It's a nice old fashioned. We asked him to go a little bit lighter on the honey just because didn't want it to be too sweet, but you have that little natural brightness, little zest from the orange. And what I loved is they have all their signature beverages themed to the different characters and the different creatures. And it's beautiful out here. Just look at this. Not a bad place to have a cocktail. You know, Alan?
Yep.
As we sit here looking at this beautiful hobbit-sized town, I can't help but wish we had some Old Toby. The finest weed in South Park.
You know, I know a guy.
He's late though.
He's late.
He seems to be late.
A wizard is never late.
All right, we've made it up to the archery arena where we can do archery and axe throwing. Which one do you think you're going to be better at?
Axe throwing, for sure.
I think I'm going to be better at archery. Thank you.
There you go. Nice, there it is.
I'll be shooting for my own hand.
Wow, that was... No, you won't.
Whoa. Okay, Legolas.
Okay.
It's far enough.
It is, you got the distance. You made the distance.
That was good.
Closer and closer, one more. Nice. I think that might be right on the edge. Hey! There you go. Hey, after we had a modicum of success both at archery and at axe throwing, we are headed to dinner now at the main house.
So which one were you better at?
I was better at axe throwing.
I was also better at axe throwing.
Archery, it seems, is a finesse exercise that takes a lot of time, attention, and practice.
I used to be really good. I am no longer.
That's okay. You know what? We can find places to practice, but...
Sure, that'll happen.
Definitely. But because this is going to be a shared dining experience at dinner, and we do not want to be rude to our other guests, we are going to just take some B-roll of the food, and then you'll hear us in the future talking about the meal.
Here we go. Offer both dinner and supper, I presume. Dinner was served partially plated and partially buffet. In fact, it reminded me of a wedding because there were specific tables for each party, and then you were dismissed to go up to get more food. But we started with a plated salad that had goat cheese, fresh strawberries, and a bed of greens. This was actually very delicious. It was light, it was fresh, good produce, nice light dressing on top. I happily enjoyed this salad.
Once we got up to the buffet, they were serving macaroni and cheese, marinated beef tips, roasted broccoli, and some yeast rolls. The rolls were, well, a roll. They tasted like those frozen Sister Schubert's rolls that you get and throw in the oven and bake. They were nice, but they weren't anything to write home about. However, the beef tips were quite tasty. They were seasoned very well, nice and peppery. They were very tender, weren't dried out at all, especially when they were cooked in this sort of large format serving style. And all of the accoutrement and the gravy fit very, very nicely.
I greatly enjoyed the macaroni and cheese, which was very cheesy, very creamy, as well as the roasted broccoli, which, again, not anything special, but it was nice and crispy on the outside, not over salted. Overall, I would liken this main meal to wedding food, but definitely better than average wedding food.
And for dessert, they passed around mini chocolate bundt cakes that were filled with a whipped cream. Imagine an elevated and plussed up hostess cake. These were pretty moist and nice. It seemed like a box cake recipe that had some fresh whipped cream on the interior. Lightly sweet, not super chocolatey. This was an okay dessert.
Overall, the meal was fine. Everyone around us seemed to enjoy what they served, but I would be curious if you did have any kind of dietary restriction, what the modifications would be. Additionally, I find it interesting that there wasn't any kind of choice in your menu.
All right, we have finished dinner, picked up another beverage. Now, do note that the bar closes at varying times. The night we're here, it's closing pretty early, right after dinner ended at around 7:30. But what we did do is we picked up something in this handy-dandy bag that I was carrying. These are golf balls, and there is a little challenge that they have here at the Ancient Lore Village. Now, if you do manage to strike it onto the green, you will win a complimentary ticket to an event here. Or, if you make it in the red circle, you will win a one-night stay in a king dwelling. So, if you want to strike 7 of these balls, the prices today are $10 for 7 balls or $20 for 15. We have 7 golf balls, 7 attempts. Let's see how we're going to do.
I am not sure if I've ever swung a golf club in my life. That's not on a mini golf course.
Listen, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the beverage goes, this is the Grumpy Old Man. This is made with Basil Hayden's bourbon, maple and nutmeg simple syrup, and some bitters. Now, Molly is here to be our taste tester.
Ooh. This one, not as sweet as the Old Fashioned that we had earlier, but I do like the maple flavor. Both very good bourbon drinks. I'm actually surprised.
All right, let's whack some balls.
Okay.
I think if I don't do this. I missed. I'm so nervous about hitting the ground. Missed. Second time. Third time's a charm. Oh, Lord, that's way over there. You hit it! Undoubtedly.
I did in fact hit it.
Yeah, you did. Tree. So. Take 7.
There it is. Oh, you did really well.
That was pretty
You did so well.
That was the best yet.
It was. Don't second time. We're gonna try this again.
Hey, that went up. There's some people down there. Do you think they should be worried?
No, I don't think they should be worried at all.
I'll let them know it's coming anyway.
Okay.
4. Is that what you say?
Yep.
4.
Felt the wind on it. I'm so ready. Let's go. Keep your eye on the ball. Hey, where did it go? You know?
I have literally no idea where it went.
You know, it's safe to say we didn't win anything. So there we go.
Okay, night has fallen on the village, and we are going to go make some s'mores.
There is a campfire outside, and they do sell s'more kits in the gift shop, or you can bring your own things. We did, and also brought Reese's cups. Pro tip, put a Reese's cup where the Hershey bar should go. Literally life-changing.
It'll change it.
Before we go for the evening, before we head out to make our s'more, I gotta know, Alan, which Lord of the Rings character do you think you are?
Gimli?
Alan, you're the best of us. You're Aragorn. What are you even doing?
Okay. Aragorn.
Noble. Fights for his friends and his loved ones.
I fight for my friends.
Yeah. That's Smash Brothers.
Like Ike from Super Smash Brothers. Who do you think you are?
I think I'm probably like Merry and or Pippin.
That's so...
Yeah.
No.
Me and Max are Merry and
You
Pippin.
and Max are Merry and Pippin.
Just
There's
chaos.
No
like
shot or anybody else.
eating a lot of snacks and like in my case having a libation or two and just causing chaos, but our hearts are in the right place.
Are they? Okay, yeah.
You could call stealing Farmer Maggot's crops the original under the table business deal.
That's theft. Anyway, we're going to go make some s'mores, and we will see you tomorrow.
Let's go.
Good morning.
From Cat Dolph.
Yeah, Cat Dolph had to make his appearance. Mine is just Vecna the Whispered One, which is an entirely different direction. So,
That's Stranger Things. Wrong IP.
it's Dungeons and Dragons, but also
Dungeons and Dragons used Vecna after Stranger Things? That's good for them to take inspiration from relevant culture.
Our breakfast is yogurt and some fruit.
Bold of them to call this a continental breakfast. Maybe it is, but my understanding of continental breakfast, almost exclusively from Johnny Rose, is that it's pastries and coffee. Usually.
Well, we have coffee.
We do have coffee. We have Boki's blend.
Cheers. I made a French press for the first time in my life, and I think I did a good job.
Boki's blend is nice.
I agree.
Like that.
Okay. Cheers to you with the yogurt and fruit.
Is it good?
That's vanilla yogurt, and yeah, the strawberries are fresh. The fruit's fresh. This was prepared and left in our little room fridge yesterday, so this is already prepped and ready. You don't have to go anywhere and pick this up in the morning. This is just going to be waiting for you.
Yeah, it just said continental breakfast on the website, and I feel as though that's overselling it a bit. Although it is good yogurt.
It's a lot of fruit.
They don't actually have a kitchen on property, we learned. So all of the dining is catered in or brought in, because I do think primarily this is an event space. You can stay here, obviously, but they said they do a lot of weddings and events and retreats, and so much like many wedding venues, you don't actually have an on-site kitchen, you just bring everything in.
So with that, it brings us to an end of our stay here at the Ancient Lore Village. Let's talk about the pros and the cons, as with anything.
One thing, which is neither a pro nor a con, but I really think you have to understand when you're booking this place, it is truly a very niche boutique hotel. So on the one hand, on the pro side, it's very calm, it's quiet, there's not a lot of people, it's very intimate, it feels very serene. On the con side, potentially, a lot of the amenities you might be used to when booking a hotel aren't available, such as an on-site dining location. Things closed very early yesterday. Basically, once dinner was over, the bar service was over, so there wasn't like a lot to do after 8 o'clock at night. There's not a pool or a hot tub. So some of those things that you might be expecting at a hotel don't exist here because, again, I think it is truly more of like an event space turned into somewhere you can also stay.
As far as the pros go, one, this is an incredibly themed resort. If you are a big Lord of the Rings fan, or if you are into that sort of high fantasy feel, or visiting a place that has its own very unique story, this is a really good option because it checks all of those boxes. Also, we did have fun at the activity. I think the most fun that we had while we were here, outside of exploring the room, was archery and axe throwing. And that was a really neat time that we were able to have up there on this property. But again, those aren't open all the time. They're only open for that hour when you're up there with one of the staff members of the hotel.
Additionally, there are a few things that I thought were a little odd. Like last night, we went out to the fire pit. The fire wasn't really going very much. And whilst they sold s'mores kits up at the front, there were no like sticks or anything for s'mores. So I like climbed into the woods a little bit to get a stick.
A mountain woman.
I wanted a stick. I wanted to make a s'more. And so I did look out the window later and the fire did seem to be a little bit more roaring, but I thought it was odd to like offer a campfire and s'mores and then not have all the s'more things. So just like a few little things like that I noticed where it's just like, that's not what I expected.
And maybe it was part of the s'more kit they sold up top. I don't.
Maybe it had a stick.
Maybe it had a stick, and ours, we had purchased a s'more kit previously and sort of brought it with us,
Yeah.
but perhaps that was part of it and we just missed it. Another thing to consider is the location. I think if you do want to come and visit this, if you do check all those boxes we talked about before, this is a good spot to maybe start or end your time in Tennessee. It's good in terms of relative proximity to the airport. You're about 40 minutes from Dollywood and about an hour away from where we were in Gatlinburg. So if you're taking a trip into Tennessee and exploring those sites, this might be a good place to stay either to kick off your trip or to end your trip.
It doesn't seem feasible to me that you would be driving an hour into Gatlinburg from here multiple days, or like that would also be into the Smokies or something like that. For the record, we rented a very beautiful Airbnb up there. That was $300-400 a night.
For all 3 nights, it came out to around $1,100. So,
and that could have slept 6. So you can definitely get things that are less expensive and still beautiful up closer in that area. So I agree. This isn't somewhere I would personally probably stay multiple nights. It was really fun to stay here one night, and it was really fun as Lord of the Rings fans to like see all the Hobbit things and take the pictures and feel kind of like you're in another universe. I also think the day pass is really cool, or coming for brunch might be really fun. Just if you just want to see it, if you just want to take Instagram pictures, you can just come visit and have brunch on the weekends, or that day pass. There's a variety of prices depending on how much you get included, if you have dinner or not, et cetera, et cetera. I think that really might be the way to go because you get to come and you get to do the most fun things, and you can do the tour where you walk around and potentially go into one of the dwellings if you really want to see it.
and if you're really good at golf, you can potentially win a free night.
Oh, that's true. Ultimately, do I think this was worth the cost? I don't know that it was worth the cost for the room that we got. Remember, we wanted to stay in a standard room, and only thing that was left was a suite. So we paid for it because we really wanted to come, and it worked out really well for the timing of this trip. But I think probably we're a little skewed when it comes to the cost because all in, including all the taxes, fees, the abode, the archery, the dinner, like all the entire package, everything we purchased was around 400 and change a person for one night. I looked and compared it to the package if you had booked the smaller dwellings, and it would have been closer to about $250 per person for the experience. So I feel like that feels okay, especially coming from the lens of people who go to theme parks all the time. I think $250 per person for technically 2 meals, activities, and the room.
Themed immersive experience.
I think that's fine. I don't know that this room with only 2 people in it is the best way to judge it because obviously we could have slept 4 and then the price per person would have gone down. So you get it. So I think, it is a more expensive experience, especially relative to the other things in the area if you want to stay overnight. But if you like Lord of the Rings, if you like fantasy, the staff was very lovely.
Yeah, they were great. This is a niche experience for folks who have this interest, and if you enjoy it, it's worth taking a look at, even for a day pass.
Ultimately, though, I really did enjoy staying here, and it really is beautiful.
Yeah, this is just a stunning space. As a fan and lover of Lord of the Rings and fantasy, I just find myself getting lost in a lot of the views that we have here.
Yes, I think it's expensive. Yes, I think part of that is the fact that we're 2 people in a 4-person dwelling. But ultimately, I think it is, like Alan said, worth a visit if you like this kind of lore. So if you've heard of any other of these kind of niche, boutique-y, fun, especially fantasy or fun-themed experiences around, definitely send them our way. I mostly had a great time doing something new and adjacently immersing myself into an IP that I love.
Absolutely the same. But until next time, friends, please be sure to like this video, subscribe if you are new, follow us on all of our socials, and if you would like to join with the MamFam in the conversation about this or any of our other videos, please join us on Discord. Links for all that are down below.
And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
And I'm Alan.
And it's been magical.
It has been magical.
Now we gotta go on a quest, Alan. I forgot to tell you that I've got a magic ring in my pocket. And if I don't get it to a certain volcano, the entire world is doomed.
Got any flying eagles?
We do have flying eagles, but we're not going to use them. We're going to take it on foot.
That feels inefficient.